In this video, we'll give you 10 sneaky starts for week 2 of the fantasy football season. We are Coventry and Anthony Cervino of RotoWire. All right, at quarterback, I got Baker Mayfield at the Lions. Last year, the divisional playoff round, Mayfield throws for 349, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, there were a couple picks, even ran for 15 yards. But the Lions are an amazing run defense, but you could pass on them. Pass rush is okay, but the offensive tackles are solid in Tampa. Chris Godwin moved to the slot. We already saw it in week 1. They're already weaponizing him in the new Liam Cohen offense. The Lions have no answers for Mike Evans. This is going to be a shootout. Don't overthink this one. Get Baker Mayfield in there as a sneaky start. Anthony, who do you got at quarterback?
Yeah, I am going with Justin Fields this week, and the expectation already is that Justin Fields will start week 2 against the Denver Broncos. Now, last week, the Steelers won the game. It was all field goal kicking, tough matchup in Atlanta. I think this is a week for a run-centric Steelers team to go all out against Denver. You know, Denver's defense last week, they were ran all over by Kenneth Walker, but that's not all. Geno Smith, 21.6 fantasy points, threw for 171 yards and a touchdown. He also ran 4 times for 30 yards and a big touchdown run. That is a similar stat line to what I expect out of Justin Fields in week 2.
At running back, I've got Alexander Mattison of the Las Vegas Raiders at the Ravens. Not the greatest matchup, but Mattison played 60% of the snaps to only 38% for Zamir White last week, and that game was close. There was not a game script issue. Zamir White last week struggled to run against a bad run defense, and now he gets the Ravens, so Mattison should continue to get mixed in, and the Ravens are double-digit favorites here. So if there's going to be a passing game to the running back, it looks like it's Alexander Mattison's opportunity to match or surpass the 6 targets he saw last week. Anthony, who do you have at running back?
Yeah, I'm all in on J.K. Dobbins, and all over the fantasy community is trying to sell high on Dobbins. I say you hold and ride it out. Last week, J.K. Dobbins had one of the games of his life, going for 22.9 PPR points, 10 rushes, 135 yards with a touchdown, 3 catches for 4 yards on 3 targets. Now, Dobbins was also caught. He could have had another big touchdown run. He gets the Carolina Panthers, and the Carolina Panthers, they were gashed by Saints running backs. Even Jamal Williams looked like he had a pulse. So this is a dream matchup for J.K. Dobbins, who played 32 snaps to Gus Edwards' 22 snaps. And let's face it, Gus Edwards is really just a guy. And I'm going to throw another sneaky play. I think you can start both of these running backs in this matchup, but Dobbins has the higher ceiling.
At wide receiver, I'm going with Greg Dortch of the Arizona Cardinals against the Los Angeles Rams. Now, Dortch was the buzz of training camp in Arizona, but when he's been given an opportunity in the last 2 years, Greg Dortch has always been productive. And guess what? Week 1, 8 targets, 6 catches, 47 yards. He's their slot receiver. He outproduced all of their other receivers, including Marvin Harrison. Now, that won't continue all year, but this game should be a shootout against the Rams. The Rams will put more attention on Marvin Harrison, maybe on the tight end Trey McBride. Dortch should have plenty of room to operate. This game should be a shootout, and if that's the case, Greg Dortch could come up again with another strong fantasy performance. Anthony, who do you like at wide receiver?
I love Jerry Jeudy as a sneaky play at wide receiver. This matchup for Cleveland at Jacksonville, it is a get-right matchup. Last week, Jacksonville's secondary were burnt by Miami wide receivers, and Miami didn't even play their best offensive game. Their receivers still went off. Deshaun Watson, he needs some confidence. I think this is a game where he can get it. And Jerry Jeudy, despite being the number 2 receiver in this offense, did draw 8 targets, caught 3 for 25 and a touchdowns against Dallas. I think this is a big pop game for Jerry Jeudy against a very suspect Jacksonville defense.
The tight end I like this week is Hunter Henry of the New England Patriots against the Seattle Seahawks. Now, New England played with a lead last week against the Bengals, so they threw 24 passes. Henry, 83% snap share. He's fine. Only got 3 targets. I don't like that Austin Hooper had 4 targets, and Henry only had 2 catches for 18 yards. But I expect the Patriots to fall behind Seattle this week. Last week was a kind of a fluke that the Bengals were so bad, the Pats took advantage. So again, and also I don't see the Patriots having that great success against the bad Cincinnati run defense, so they ran it down their throats. This week, Seattle's going to stop the run. That means we're going to see more passing. Jacoby Brissett can get the ball to Hunter Henry, and he will. Sign me up for Hunter Henry. Go ahead, Anthony.
I'm in on Colby Parkinson this week. Now, last week, Colby Parkinson dominated snaps for the Rams, played 65. The next most snaps for a Rams tight end was Davis Allen with 6. Parkinson also ran the most routes of any tight end in the NFL last week. He did get 5 targets, catching 4 for 47, which is a modest PPR day. But now we know Puka's not playing. I know the sneaky starts a receiver, Tyler Johnson and Demarcus Robinson, but this could be a really busy game for Colby Parkinson. I'm starting him this week.
My wild card play this week is Tyler Johnson of the Los Angeles Rams against the Arizona Cardinals. Look, the beat goes on in LA. If Sean McVay likes you, puts you in the lineup, you're in a role, you're going to produce. Puka Nacua produced last year. Demarcus Robinson produced. Kyron Williams produced. Tyler Johnson seemed to move right into the Nacua role. Ends up going 5 for 79 on 7 targets, playing 65% of the snaps. Again, when Nacua went out, he's going to play that role. And if that role is there, it's valuable. Arizona is not stopping anybody. So Tyler Johnson, beat goes on, use him. Don't put him over a high-end starter, but you're going to get wide receiver 3 numbers at least in this game, most likely. And again, this should be a big-time shootout. Cards defensive backs, they can't cover, and they're going to focus on Cooper Kupp. Johnson's going to eat in this game. Anthony, who's your last wild card player?
My wild card player is Chase Brown, and I get it. Chase Brown was a disappointment last week, but so were the Cincinnati Bengals as a whole. And I know Zach Moss, he doubled Chase Brown when it comes to snap distribution. But Chase Brown, when he was on the field, he still had 6 touches, including 3 receptions. The Bengals, they're going to Kansas City. This is going to be a game where they might have to throw a lot. And last week, Justice Hill was a solid PPR start behind Derrick Henry against the Kansas City Chiefs. Hill was targeted 8 times, catching 6 for 52. I think Chase Brown could have a similar PPR output if this game gets out of hand against the Chiefs, and it could.